Hi everyone, welcome. If you're a regular here on my channel, then you'll probably know by now, because there's been a running theme in all my most recent videos, if you've watched them sequentially and if you've seen the last couple of my videos on my channel. Basically, long story short, I'm getting ready to go away for a little getaway for a few days. So I'm just going through my list of all my different systems, checking in on each, just to make sure it's in good shape, good enough shape to be left unattended for anywhere between 2.5 to 3 weeks. I'm still a few days from needing to pack up and head out, but then I'll be gone for something in the neighborhood of about 11 days, I believe, and that pretty much means some of my systems won't be checked in on for a good couple weeks. So it's only been 8 days since we last checked in on these little guys. It's a pretty new system. It's one of my newest systems, only 44 days of age, so just a little bit over a month old, and it's been fed 4 times so far. So we're gonna give it a nice feeding, and then I'll at least have the peace of mind to know that I don't have to worry about these little guys. I can leave them be for a good couple weeks till the next time we get a chance to check back in on them. Definitely seems like we've got a nice bit of moisture down here, and almost every handful I encounter has a good many worms in it. I'm trying to remember what we used last time as bedding, and I know it wasn't natural materials, because I do remember some sort of a comment made about the materials being some sort of a man-made material. Oh, look at that. Those of you who have outdoor systems like myself probably often keep an eye out for these unusual looking little guys. These are the larvae of black soldier flies, and sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't. And I usually consider them as welcome guests in any of my outdoor systems because they're incredible composters. The speed at which those little guys devour food is incredible. Especially when you got a good many of them. They just plow through pretty much anything you give them. And they've got a much more diverse range of things that they can consume too. They'll go through meats and stuff that, you know, your typical composting worm can't really handle. Your typical composting worm is really kind of working hand in hand with the natural breakdown processes of organic matter, kind of slurping up the leftovers of what in large part is getting taken care of by bacteria and fungi and microbes and stuff like that. But the black soldier fly larvae, they just dig right in. So I excavated a good bit of stuff. Most of it appeared to me like just old bits of bedding. A lot of it is sort of clumped together. Oh, there's our little black soldier fly larvae friend. Don't want to injure or harm that little guy. We'll just make sure we put all these little guys right back where we found them. But we're going to use another man-made bedding material to go hand in hand with today's feeding. We're pretty much at the bottom of the bag here, and yeah, there's plenty of moisture in here, so that's one thing we don't need to worry about. I got newspaper. I bought a few pieces of newspaper out here. I wasn't quite sure how much I would require for this, so I bought a good many chunks of it. I did sort of imagine myself being kind of generous with it. I'm just trying to think of perhaps some creative way to deploy it so it just doesn't end up becoming a big mound of stuff that's matted up against itself. So perhaps if we were to start divvying out bits and pieces of today's food portion onto the newspaper, then we could possibly cover it up enough that we wouldn't have to worry about an additional piece of newspaper placed on top of it, matting together with it. I wasn't quite sure what I had here. It looked to me like cantaloupe melon, but at first I thought it was just a big, huge lump of this stuff. But it does seem like it's individual pieces of it. So let's save a little bit of that that food portion to go in with another piece of paper. I don't want to go overboard here because I want to be able to cover up thoroughly too when we're done, although I don't have to worry too much about it. We got that nice sturdy piece of plywood with which we can cover up at the end and not be concerned about invaders coming in and pillaging our lovely system here. So perhaps that last piece of paper won't go in here. We'll just stack in what remains of the food. A lot of this is couscous or whatever it's called. These are just little tiny spherical noodles, and I just prepared a little bit too much. Didn't really feel like eating all of it, so I figured, you know what, I'm going to be feeding the wormies, why don't we leave it for them. And we got strawberry, we got banana peel, perhaps some peels of some pears. Hard to say what all this stuff is, but they're definitely getting a nice variety of all kinds of yummy foods, fruits, veggies, starchy foods. I'm even wondering if we can still somehow squeeze in one last piece. Why don't we just go for it? Let's not be bashful. We got quite a way, or quite a amount of time between now and the next time we come check in on them. So maybe they'll appreciate having a somewhat abundant quantity of bedding type materials to go hand in hand with their feeding. And I think if we aerate some of the stuff that we've not yet inspected around the edges, sort of till it up and bring it inboard by fluffing up a good bit of this stuff, we'll have plenty to cover up thoroughly. And I think that's about it. Very nice. Gotta tell you, for a system that's only 44 days old, and also for a system that is thought to have a population only around, I can't remember the exact number, but it was somewhere below 700 worms are thought to live in here based on our estimates and my averaging over estimates. The worms are doing a really nice job. Lots of nice castings starting to pile up in here. So that pretty much brings us to the end of our check-in with Outdoor Worm Bag version 6.0 with the red wigglers getting feeding number 5 on day 44. Only 8 days after the last check-in, but the next time we see these guys could very well be 20 days or more. So that's it for the check-in, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, as always, please don't forget to leave me a quick thumbs up before you go. That's always really appreciated. If you haven't done so already, please also consider subscribing to the channel. That's very much appreciated as well. All right, everyone, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye now.